Hey everyone, welcome back. We've got the last pay-per-view of the year, UFC 310, with Kaya Sakura taking on Alexandre Pantoja for the flyweight title. What I really want to talk about is, did the UFC do a good job in 2024? Did they actually achieve all the things that they wanted to achieve in 2024? So this is just a fan's perspective on what the UFC looked like in 2024 and what it's going to look like in 2025. The UFC generally have about 12 to 13 pay-per-views a year, so I would assume one a month, right? And the rest of it is filled out with these fight night cards that are beholden to their streaming partner, their broadcast partner, which in this case is ESPN Plus. I don't know if you guys know this. One of the few reasons why Fight Island came about was because the UFC are contracted for a certain amount of shows per year for ESPN. If you don't have those shows, you basically renege on your contract. You break the contract stipulations, and then there's this litigation, and it becomes a huge problem. So the UFC have to keep going. It's just a part of their deal with all these sponsors. So sometimes you're going to get these cards that are incredibly watered down, like the ones headlined by WMMA, like Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. Who watched that shit? Honestly speaking, the pay-per-views on the other hand are not bad. This year we had a couple of decent ones. We had the Jamahal Hill, Alex Pereira, UFC 300, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. We had that. We had Pereira versus Rountree. We had Pereira versus Prochazka 2. So there's a whole man. If anything, Alex Pereira basically saved the UFC in 2024, right? Jalwa hai hamara. We were hoping that Conor McGregor would be back. And he was supposed to be back. They built up this entire rivalry with Michael Chandler through TUF, and it's kind of sad to see where the guy is right now, considering all the legal problems. Dude, what's going on, right? And I don't think he's even looking forward to coming back. The whole adage of silk sheets and all that, right? The guy's got what, 600 million at the minimum. Why would he want to fight? So I don't think Conor's coming back, but the UFC so desperately needs someone like that, right? He's if you go to Topology and you check out their pay-per-view buys page, you'll notice that literally more than half of the highest pay-per-view buys all come from Conor. Conor versus Cerrone, Conor versus Habib, Conor versus Dustin. These are record-breaking pay-per-view numbers. Conor versus Floyd, Jesus. There will never be a star like Conor McGregor. It's just not gonna happen. I know we fans like these kinds of fighters, right? The brash, outgoing guys who can sort of back it up. But dude, Conor McGregor essentially became the guy who couldn't back his trash talk up anymore. Remember, he was the guy but I back it up,
People are always saying about the talk, and I talk, but guess fucking what? I back it up.
Where's the backing up now? You pulled out with a broken toe. It's the shit that you made fun of Rafael Dos Anjos for. He's not coming. I don't think he's coming back in 2025 either. The only guy who I think even got close to getting to that star power was Alex Pereira, and it's only because he's so active. All the pay-per-views that happened this year, he's fought 3 times. Right? It's very rare for a champion to fight 3 times a year in the UFC. The schedule, the rigorous training camps, it breaks you down, man. It really does. You'll notice this when guys become champion, they tend to fight twice or once a year. Unless it's guys like Izzy Pereira, dudes who come from kickboxing and have this innate drive to keep fighting. You'll see it in kickboxing as well. Even back in the day, I remember guys used to get just blasted, knocked out, and 2 months later they're back. If you go and watch old K1 fights, you'll notice even the best, I'm talking the best guys at the time, right? Ernesto Hus, Semi Schilt, Badar Hari, Stefan Leko, just a Crow Cop. They all got stopped, and brutally stopped, and they still came back to fight. So you got to give these kickboxers a lot of credit for at least Alex Pereira for saving the UFC in 2024. UFC 300 was supposed to be Jones versus Miocic, Stipe Miocic, but clearly we saw what happened with that, and that fight got shifted to November. And by the time the media cycle got a wind of it, they went with the whole idea of Stipe Miocic hasn't won a fight in 4 years, which is true. And John should have been fighting Tom Aspinall. This was just a layup for John to get another name on his record. He seems like he does not want to fight Tom Aspinall. He's coming up with every excuse on the planet to not fight Tom Aspinall. I don't even know if this fight's going to happen in 2025. Say he retires and now Tommy just takes on the championship. And, there'll always be that asterisks on top of that. Another thing that could throw a wrench into the UFC's plans for 2025 could be His Excellency putting in the money needed to make a fight like, Jones versus Ngannou. Like, I think he came on Ariel's show a couple of days ago and actually talked about this. If there's anyone that could get it done, it's him. The guy's got the money and he's got the drive, right? Like, it's these dudes are very difficult to like say no to. Another real big issue I've noticed is that the new gloves were not doing the UFC any favors in the UFC's quest to get more knockouts and to make the fights more exciting. In fact, this year I mean, in general, if you notice across trends, right? Like, you're seeing fewer and fewer stoppages in MMA. Back in the day, you used to just guys get blasted. Like, now it's sure the pay-per-views. If you again look at the top 10 pay-per-views, 8 out of the 12 were stoppages. So that was pretty good that way. But if you look at the fight nights, some of them were horrendous. I mean, look, man, you can scream at me and hate me all you want, but women's MMA sucks. So
Everybody's leaving. Everybody's
anything that has a women's MMA main event is just going to be terrible. So I don't know what the UFC are going to do in 2025. Hamza Chimaev could be a huge star for the UFC. Conor's not coming back. So any of you fans that think Conor McGregor will see the return, I don't foresee this. The guy's got lots of personal problems right now. And even if he walks in against a guy like Michael Chandler, bro, you're going to get badly hurt. Sure, if it was Conor of 2016, 2017, I think he waxes Michael Chandler. The same guy that like took out Jose Aldo and Eddie Alvarez. I think he beats the shit out of Chandler. But now, this version of Conor 2024, 2025, I don't think he holds a single candle to the Conor of 2016, 2017. The guy's just not the same anymore. I'm hoping this was just announced recently, a couple of hours ago, but Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Saryukin and Mirab Dvalishvili taking on Umar Nurmagomedov at the first pay-per-view of 2025. That's going to be a banger card. Like, they're starting off the year like real solid. Like, Arman versus Islam is an incredible fight. Nobody deserves it more than Arman in the lightweight division, and Islam has a chance at lightweight greatness with his 4th title defense. If you're really looking at historical precedent, lightweight has only had 3 title defenses, much like heavyweight. It's a very weird division, tough division. These killers are constantly churning out. So if Islam does manage to beat Arman, he'll be, in my opinion, the best lightweight on the planet. If this weekend Shavkat does manage to beat Ian Gary, he's another one to watch out for. I think that guy's got, I don't think he's got Conor McGregor star power, but I think he's got that Alex Pereira type star power. Guy doesn't speak any English, comes from this remote part of the world, and is just a straight up killer. But all in all, I don't know if 2024 was a very, very good year for the UFC. Sure, they hit all their targets and all that, but in terms of just like pure entertainment, I think there's just too many cards, man. But we're hoping to see more quality from the UFC in 2025. 2024 had some good moments, but it overall is just watered down a product because the UFC is a monopsony. A monopsony is basically when a company has competition, in this case the PFL, but kind of has all the leveraging power, all the purchasing power, and are able to basically dictate the terms. And since the UFC are a monopsony, they're able to just take these crappy cards and you're going to watch it whether you like it or not. Right? They've got us by the balls. Like, anyone who's watching this video, bro, the UFC have got us. Like, we're not letting go of this sport anytime soon. We're going to watch even the shittiest. I sat up and watched Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. I want to shoot myself in the head after that. But we're going to watch these fights regardless of whether they're good cards or not. We are not the audience the UFC needs to cater to. The audience is the casual guy, the dude who likes Conor McGregor, or the dude who likes Ronda Rousey, or whatever, those kind of guys. So hopefully we see better quality cards in 2025. They have a roster of 600 fighters. Let's get them out. Let's get some good matchups going, right? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to see you in the new year, or maybe next week. We've got a good card as well. We've got Colby Covington taking on Joaquin Buckley. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see that. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, live MMA now.